Hey everybody, Stereo Police. I just wanted to make this vid while I had the time. I'm about to post a walk around video I just made of my 1985 Ram, or I should say Dodge Ram, W150. It's a 4x4 pickup, long bed, that I'm having, I'd say quasi-restored. And I say quasi-restored because I want it for as a daily driver. Forgive me, cigar. And I don't need it perfect, but I want it nice. And I didn't want to just post this video that I'm about to put up without some sort of context, and I'm doing this because there's a lot of folks on the web that love these older Ram square bodies. They call them square bodies. It's a generation of these Ram trucks in terms of how they looked. And so let me, before I do this, and I'm gonna as the progression of the truck moves on, I'm gonna sorry, I'm looking at something out the window there. I'm gonna post some other update videos as well, but let me give you a little bit of background. I've always wanted a Ram square body. I've always loved the power wagons. In this case, I have a Power Ram Prospector. It was always I've always been a pickup truck person, without question. And the Ram square bodies were always my favorite, but I never had one. So you could consider it a bucket list item. Now fulfilled. Well, not quite fulfilled yet, but it will be. So starting on a budget. Well, I really didn't even intend to go down this path, because my primary hobby is audio equipment. But one day, rather recently, I don't know how long ago it was, maybe a year ago, this Ram W150 came my way, kind of serendipitously. And it needed a whole lot of work. It wouldn't be a good starting point for someone who wanted a daily driver, let me put it that way. And I didn't have a tremendous budget for it at the time. But nevertheless, there was something about it I liked. Of course, I've always loved these trucks. There was something about this one in particular that I just took to, and I decided to dive in, and I bought the truck. Didn't cost that much, a couple $1,000s. It ran, and it had a lot of problems, and I'll just go over a few of them right now. The fuel tank leaked like a sieve. The fuel line leading to the fuel tank also leaked with a different set of holes. So every time I put gas in it, at the gas station, I damn near had to fill out a fucking environmental impact statement. It needed brakes. It needed rotors. The emergency brake cable was flopping around underneath of it. Half of the interior switches and buttons didn't work. The climate control system was flopping around inside the dash. The fuel sending unit didn't work, so I didn't know how much fuel was in it. Now, that's just the beginning. The fuel lines leading to the carburetor were rusted heavily. The radiator leaked. The carburetor had issues. And this is a really odd one right here. the truck had a lean to it. It leaned left. And come to find out, that's kind of a common thing with these Ram square bodies, in that, the fuel tank, which is a 30-gallon monster, sits on the driver's side of the truck, and so does the driver. And so over the years, all of these trucks develop a little bit of a left or driver's side lean to them, where they sit a little bit lower on the left than the right. Well, this had that. But what's really unusual about this truck is that somebody at some point cut one leaf spring out at every wheel. They literally cut one at the front. They torched them out. Why, we don't know. But one leaf spring at every wheel was removed. And the effect of that would be slightly lowering the truck, but it might be for a softer ride. But the front axle was almost at the jounce bumpers. I don't know what you call those things. I used to call them the jounce bumpers, but it was almost there, resulting in, if they wanted a softer ride, they ended up getting a rougher ride, because as soon as you hit a significant bump or a significant swale in the road, you were hitting the jounce bumpers and getting jounced back. The leaf springs were not able to do their softening job. It needed all new hoses, all new belts. It needed a new electronic ignition. The list goes on. The air conditioner didn't work. I'm going to forget a million things, but the radio didn't quite work. I mean, it needed so much stuff. So I took it to a local dealer. I got some of the stuff done to get it on the road and drove it for a while. And it still needed a fuel tank. And I was having a hell of a time finding a fuel tank locally. It's a 30-gallon fuel tank. I had to get, you have to get the exact same tank, because the straps in the back of the truck are made for this tank. And, couldn't find one locally. Well, I did find one locally. When I finally went to the junkyard, it too had holes in it. So, I found a good fuel tank in Connecticut, which is, and they couldn't ship it because they can't ship used fuel tanks. And it would be like, an 8-hour drive there for me and an 8-hour drive back. I can't do that. I'm not willing to do that. Anyway, so my truck was sitting in the dealer, and the dealer, they were kind enough to try to help find a fuel tank for me. And it was sitting in the, it was almost undrivable with the fuel leaks I had. And it was just sitting at the dealer for about 2, maybe 3 weeks. And they're looking for a tank, and I'm looking for a tank. And this guy comes in, who is a big rig mechanic for a large company. And he rolls into the Ram dealer, and he sees my truck out front. And apparently my truck has a pretty unusual grill bumperette arrangement that wasn't produced for that many years. And he's going in to get some parts. And he happens to ask the service manager there about my truck. And the service manager tells him, yeah, we're looking for a fuel tank. We're having a hard time finding it. And this guy says, oh, well, I've got 2 of them laying in my driveway. And a longer story shorter is, this guy also happens to be a Ram hardbody specialist on his own time. He's a collector, and he's been working on these trucks forever. He's a fantastic mechanic. I mean, top notch. I mean, he's a mechanic for a living, but he on the side, he's a Ram specialist. He knows these things inside and out, and he's a perfectionist. So I was going to roll over, and the service manager got his number and forwarded the number to me. I gave him a call, and I was going to go buy the fuel tank from him. Super nice guy. And take it back to the dealer and have them install it. But when I called the guy, I realized just how knowledgeable this person was. And it occurred to me, why not just have this guy install it? Because he started talking about, well, when you install them, you got to put this new ring in, you got to do this, and if you don't do this right, and there's a strap that rubs against the area, and your tank probably has a crack where the strap is, and you're going to see that in the upcoming video where the fracture was in the fuel tank, and it's caused by the strap that holds the tank to the body. He already knew it. So I'm thinking, man, this guy knows so much stuff. I want to just have him do it. So I said, would you mind doing the work for me? He said, sure. And I rolled over there, and while I was there, I said, well, you know, I got this problem. One of my mirrors fell off. I mean, this truck was a POS. And so I had him do some other things to it. And the job was done so damn well. And he's such a great guy and such an awesome mechanic. Got the truck back, drove it around, just fell in love with the truck. And I have a 2010 Ram as well, you know, with the Hemi and all the options. But there's something about this 85 I love even more. And I got to thinking, well, there's so many more things I'd like to have fixed on this thing. You know, the radio, I'd like to have air conditioning, so many more things. Why not just set a budget, take it back to him and say, can you do all these things? Let's get it done. Let's get everything mechanical on it working. Oh, and he also noticed when he drove it, he heard a noise he said was indicative of the transfer case bearings. So I gave him a list and I gave him a budget. Can you do it within this budget? He says, sure. And that's where we are to date. The truck is at his house right now, and we're getting a whole host of things. And I had some optional items. I wanted the Dana Spicer limited slip differential put in it, the one that would have been in it had it been ordered as an option back in '85. I wanted the air conditioning updated to the modern refrigerant and working. I wanted a radio put in it, but I didn't want, you know, it had a more modern Pioneer radio put in there, but I wanted a radio put in that would be more contemporaneous with the truck itself. So he found one from a Dakota that fit, an AM/FM. That's all I need, AM/FM in that thing. And the door seals were cracked, the windows whistled, air came in through the vent windows didn't work. I mean, there were so many things. And that's what you're going to kind of see in this upcoming video. And this video was taken a few days ago on a Saturday when I was visiting him, and we walked around the truck, and I'm looking at the progress. So, and he's going to do the transfer case, bearing kit, differential. I wanted new valve covers because my valve covers were leaking. And there's a whole list there we're going to go down. And the other thing I wanted, I said, you know, this truck is a little low and it kind of leans. And he told me about the lean. I said, I wouldn't mind having it lifted just a couple of inches. He goes, well, you know, it doesn't look like it sits as high as it should sit, as it would have come from the factory. And that's when he discovered that somebody had freaking cut a leaf spring out of every wheel. And he said he'd never seen that before, ever. We can only speculate as to why that was done. So he, over the years, has devised his own lift kit. It's not a lift kit you buy from, an aftermarket. And I forget, you'll listen to him on the video explain it. He takes different springs off another ram and puts them on the front from the rear of another ram and puts them on the front of this one. And again, this isn't my specialty, but it is gorgeous. And it lifts it up about 3 inches. It levels it out, gets rid of the lean. Oh, and he also restuffed the damn seat. The bench seat was, the foam in it was wearing out, and you could start to feel the springs, and the seat had a lean to it. He got that restuffed for me from a friend of his. Got the radio, and there were issues with the door motors, the window motors. The list goes on. But I'm thrilled. I'm excited. So I'm going to start out showing you some pictures of the Ram in the before condition that I took back in the summer, I think. I'll try to put those up right here so you can see it's a beautiful truck, but it's going to be lifted about 3 to 4 inches from this condition. I'm keeping the same wheels, definitely keeping those factory wheels, those turbine wheels, keeping the same tires. I don't need bigger tires. I just want it a little bit higher, just for that look. And so I'll show you the pictures of before, and then you're gonna see the walk around we did with them. I'm kind of like, you'll hear me talking kind of fast. I'm normally a slow talker, but I'm like a kid in a candy store. Because that truck's my baby. I love it. I can't wait to get it and start driving. Now I'm thinking about painting it. Needs a little bit of body work. And I'm not going to do a full restoration paint job where you remove all the trim and the door handles and all that stuff. That will cost a mint. Homie doesn't have a budget for that. But I might get the body work done and have a decent paint job, same color scheme. It matches the color of the bench seat. And he's also going to paint the undercarriage for me as well, with some kind of rust prevention. It makes the undercarriage black, and makes it look all nice. And he put a steering damper on it. You'll see as we walk around. And some of the footage was lost, so I thought I was recording when I wasn't. So some of the stuff is lost, but I got most of it. And you'll get a chance to hear my mechanic talk about it. And this guy is amazing. He's awesome. Fantastic. And it was just a chance, a 1 in a million chance of him seeing my truck parked in front of the dealer, because it wasn't normally parked there. It was normally parked in their parking garage. It just happened to be parked out front that day that he came in to pick up a part. I would have never come across this guy. He lives in another city from me, but he's about an hour away. But it worked out perfectly, and he's one of the best guys I've ever met. Just a genuinely nice dude. So, just 1 in a million chance. So, I've probably said enough, and what I'm going to do is, this is the walk around, and I'll do some update videos on the truck's progress, and then I'll do another video when it's all done and show you that. I'm going to drive it around probably before I get it painted, and I'll do another one after that. And I'm doing these videos for anyone who's interested in these Ram square bodies, as well as for myself, just to look back on it someday. Look back on the experience of going through the quasi-restoration of the Ram. But I'm sure going to enjoy driving it. It's going to be my daily driver. Oh, and even though the Ram was kind of a piece of junk, when I bought it only had 103,000 miles on it, original miles. So that was the plus. That was the plus. The engine is in fantastic shape. It's a 318, and it's before they went to the roller tappets. It's a flat tappet. So I've got to add, additive to the oil, zinc kind of additive, but it's a 318, which means it should last a good long time. And if it doesn't, I have the mechanic that can deal with it. And really, the only thing, before I forget, the only thing that's really aftermarket on it now is the carburetor. Someone put an aftermarket Holley, but he said it's a really good carburetor. I think, forgive me, I'm not a carburetor specialist. It's a 4-barrel, 900 something CFM, I think. I believe. He mentions it in the upcoming vid, but it's a good combo. It's got enough power. I'm going to say one more thing about this. It doesn't have the power, the acceleration of my 2010 Ram with the Hemi, but this is more pleasurable to drive. And there's one thing I'd forgotten about from back in the day. Where I live, there's a lot of hills and there's mountains. And the transmission I have, apparently these transmissions, I forget the number of it, but it's which transmission it is, but it's a 3-speed automatic. And they're just brick shit houses, these things. And I forgot how much I loved 3-speed automatics. The torque curve of that engine coupled with that 3-speed, it's just so damn linear. And when you're going up hills or up mountains, it finds the gear it likes and it stays in it. Whereas with my current Ram, it's constantly shifting and downshifting and trying to find the gear. Sometimes it hesitates and it's trying to find it's just in and out, in and out. It's kind of annoying. That 3-speed will find its gear and stay in it. And I'm like, as I'm driving it up the mountains and all that, this is wild. It's just staying in a gear. And it's got plenty of power. And it's nothing, there's no computer on the truck. There's nothing electronic. It's all vacuum operated, and it's a pleasure to drive. Really is. I forgot how much I loved driving 3 speeds. So I've said enough. I'll go ahead and add to this the walk around with my mechanic, end it there, and I'll post some updates as more work gets done. Anyway, thanks for joining me. I hope you Ram enthusiasts enjoy the video, and ciao, and enjoy the rest. See you guys later. Stereo Police. Okay, so we started out with I always called this a D150.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it is?
W.
See, online it was a D.
D is 2-wheel drive.
Okay, so it's W150. I remember you saying that, and I got that confused. W150 is 4-wheel drive. D150 is 2-wheel drive.
Yep.
And the Prospector was a package.
Prospector was a package.
And it was just a more upscale.
Well, there was 3 levels of Prospector package, and I have an old brochure saved on my phone. I'll send that to you.
Awesome.
And you can actually kind of pick through the 3 packages and see what your truck does and doesn't have from those 3 packages.
Probably one of those packages had those speakers in behind the seat that I don't have.
Yours had them.
Oh, someone took them out. Mm.
Because
I know you have a pair here, but
I have a pair.
Yep.
Because you can see where the screw head used to be, and if they never had them there,
that screw head wouldn't be there.
There's no hole there.
Yep.
All it is a little dimple in the metal where the screw hole would have been.
Okay.
There's no actual hole.
I need to find me a pair of those then at some point, just to have. I don't care if they're hooked up. I just want to have them in there. Okay. Now, before I run out of phone memory, these wheels were we call turbine wheels. Do you know about how many years they were offered with the W150, or was it?
They were put on both. They were only made in the 5-on-5.5 lug pattern from Dodge, and they were offered for about, I want to say they were offered for about 8 years.
8 years, in the 80s.
About 82 to 89.
Okay.
88, somewhere in there.
And they're similar wheels to what was used on the General Lee you mentioned.
Yep.
Dukes of Hazzard. All right. And we were just talking about the suspension upgrade I'm getting, which raised. Walk over here. Get a shot at the front, but we've lifted the suspension by about what, 3.5, 4 inches?
About 3, 2.5, 3.
2.5, 3 inches.
And we used the rear springs out of a 1/2-ton pickup.
Now this is really novel. You blew my mind when you told me how you're doing this. You're using the rear springs out of a 2.5-ton pickup.
Out of a 1/2-ton pickup.
1/2-ton pickup.
Yep.
And you're taking them and putting them in the front.
Yep.
Of this pickup.
Yep.
Did you figure that out on your own, or?
Yep.
That blows my mind. And here they are. They're in there.
20 some years ago, I figured it out, and the thought came from I was hauling an engine on the back of a 1/2-ton pickup, and I had it sitting on a tire right in the wheel well, and I noticed how much better the truck rode.
Yeah.
From the weight, and it had kind of picked the front end up a little bit, and it had weighted the rear just right. And the thought came from, if I can put an engine in the back of the truck and it would still ride okay, why can't I put those springs in the front of a truck?
And like we were just talking about, turn the concave elliptical springs that come with it into sort of convex.
Yep.
And do it's almost the same effect as putting the engine in the rear of the truck without having the engine in the rear of the truck.
Yep.
And you get about a 3.5-inch lift. And it looks beautiful. I love it. That's just gorgeous.
You wound up with about 3.5 on this side.
Mm-hmm.
You only got about 2.25 on that side.
On that side, because of the lean.
Because of the lean.
Yep.
Yep.
To level it out. So now we're level.
So now you're level side to side.
That's beautiful. That lean used to kill me. I come out and look at it, and you could just detect that 1/2-inch lean.
No, it was more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The back end is still over an inch.
Damn. And that just happens because of the springs over time. Just
And the gas tank and the driver.
And the driver.
If they'd have put the gas tank on the other side of the truck to counterbalance the driver.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't have done that.
That's wild.
At least not as bad.
Yeah, I can't wait to drive this again. Okay. Those are the big issues. I'm just going to talk about the little things we did. We put a steering damper on it.
Yep.
I requested that. I just thought it would help a little bit.
Rough country heavy duty steering damper.
Rough country heavy duty steering damper. That's that thing that looks like a shock absorber down there. Let's go ahead and, since we're here, open the hood. And
we haven't gotten to the air conditioning yet. Actually, I really haven't done much on here yet. Haven't got to it yet. We have new valve covers to go on.
Valve covers to go on.
This third coat of paint is drying.
Okay.
We have brand new horns.
Oh yeah.
From last time.
Where's that horn system?
Right there. One on each side.
One on each side, and it's a dual. What do you call it? A dual tone or?
Yep. High tone, low tone.
High tone, low tone. Sounds great.
Freeway blasters.
Freeway blast. Sounds great. Sounds fantastic. Oh, these new headlights. Which I meant to ask you, in case one goes out, and you're no longer around, you move out on me, Texas. You won't call me back because you hate my guts for whatever reason. Where do I get these? What are they called?
Amazon.
Amazon.
They're projection LED off Amazon.
Projection LED, okay.
Make sure they are DOT SAE approved.
Okay.
See your DOT SAE number right there?
Yep.
So that means they have been approved.
These things are kick arse. I mean, they are fantastic.
They're the same.
Okay. Same as on your bike over there. I'm not going to point to your bike. That's your personal vehicle. But the same as on your bike. And I had this new radiator put in, and you reminded me this is kind of you reminded me politely, it's just not what you would have done. This is a thermoplastic POS radiator.
$100 from Advance Auto.
You would have cored out the old radiator that came with it. And
or bought a brand new brass and copper, but
Yep.
they're about $300. And
Well, compared to what I'm putting into this thing, I think that's chump change.
and they're not the. There's only like 2 people still making them, carrying them. They're getting hard to find.
Damn it.
But you can still get a 2 or 3 core copper and brass.
If you happen to come across one, not that you should actively look, if you come across one, I'll buy it from you.
I got one.
Really? Well, one that you're willing to part with.
Oh yeah, it's just a spare.
Really?
It's laying in the back of my Ram Charger.
It's good to go.
As far as I know.
You willing to part with it?
I would take it and get it clean first, make sure it's good before I sold it to you.
I mean,
But yeah, it's just an extra to me.
yeah. I mean, think about it. If you're willing to part with it, since we're here and it's hooked up, you know.
One thing that I haven't got to yet, but you will be getting dealt with. It wasn't on your list. If you notice, you have a big oil spot under the truck.
I saw that.
You have the selector shaft seal for the transmission is leaking.
Okay.
Where the selector shaft and the kick down shaft go down through.
Yep.
So when it sits for a couple, it didn't start leaking until it had been sitting here for about a week.
Never leaked in my driveway.
And so what happens is the torque converter drains out.
Oh.
It overfills the pan, level comes up. So as long as you're driving it every couple of days, it won't.
Oh, okay. Torque converts. Okay, got you.
So as it drains out, it overfills the pan and then just comes out past those seals because those seals are right there above the pan.
You know, I did see a spot every now and then. I was wondering, you know,
Yeah,
okay.
You got a couple old leaks.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's the nature of the beast.
Yeah, you got a little bit front timing cover, front crank seal leaking a little bit, and maybe rear crank seal slobber a little bit.
Well, you know, we can live with little things like that, right? I mean, that's just the nature of it.
But the big spot is transmission fluid, and last time it was here, I had to put almost a half a quart in it.
Shit. Really?
Yep. I think I put a quart of oil in it and a half a quart of transmission fluid. Last time it was here.
Damn it. Didn't know that. Just a reminder, I have what kind of carburetor? It's a Holly
Holly.
4-barrel.
Yep.
Okay.
650.
And last time I was here, you hooked up my cruise control, which wasn't left. Whoever had this truck before didn't hook that up.
Lighter throttle return spring.
Lighter. Oh my God, that made a difference. That lighter throttle return spring made all the difference in the world in terms of how the accelerator feels. It's beautiful. We're changing out the refrigerant from
R12 to R134.
R12 to R134, which requires a whole new system.
New hoses, new thermo valve, thermistor valve.
Okay, so that's to be done.
New lines, new receiver dryer.
Okay.
And then take the rest of it out and drain it and flush it and change the oil in it.
Okay.
So that when it's done, it'll actually be regular PEG oil, not the conversion ester oil.
Perfect.
So that any AC shop will actually work on it, because a lot of shops will not work on conversions.
Okay. Perfect. And what else are we doing?
Inside. Let's go.
Oh yeah, inside. Let me go to the other side. Oh, so we did the front springs. Well, yeah, we'll get to the rear springs after that. Inside. Oh, the inside. Yeah. I am so excited. Oh, the mirrors. So these are larger mirrors.
3/4 ton.
3/4 ton mirrors. So they are larger mirrors. They're Ram mirrors, but they're larger than what would have come on this truck, and they make all the difference in the world. This right here is a hillbilly mess. This is hillbilly workmanship, and my mechanic, on loan from God, is dealing with this mess and making it right.
Avoiding that mess right now.
Yeah. What are we doing here?
Just a nice stainless steel bracket.
Oh yeah. Okay, so that was broken, and we fixed the
So it's attached now.
climate control module was flopping around.
Stock radio
What a nice fix.
that functions.
Oh, someone had put an aftermarket
Cargo light that works.
oh my God, it's awesome. Someone had put an aftermarket total POS Pioneer in here, and I wanted something more contemporaneous with this CD, which was god awful.
Queen of the Damned soundtrack.
I don't even know what that is.
It was a movie.
It must have been bad because the soundtrack was horrible. This radio is out of a Dakota.
Yep.
Okay.
You have no ashtray. It's open now, but you have no ashtray.
Where the F is it?
No idea. It's gone.
Someone had a CB radio here and had this sealed up, and I can get an ashtray. I wanted access to that for
The
to
power
charge
port, yeah.
charging my phone.
Yeah, I just still need to make sure it works. It's wired. It's hooked up. The wires are there.
Perfect.
So I just need to make sure it actually has power and ground.
I would only use an ashtray for change because I don't smoke. Well, I do cigars. Does that count as smoking? I don't
Yeah,
think.
it counts as
Oh shit! Don't tell me that.
still ashes.
Okay. I don't do cigars in the car though.
You're like me. You sit on the front porch, drink scotch, and smoke.
Wine, but okay. What do we have in here?
You have all new door glass,
Oh my god!
weather stripping.
I can't wait. This truck whistled so loud, every seal whistled that you couldn't even carry on a conversation in the truck when you picked up anything after 50 miles an hour.
So these are brand new door tracks, brand new door sweeps, and brand new rubbers for the vent glass.
Beautiful. My god. Perfect. Oh yeah, and
Just came yesterday.
that is going to be fan. And what was the issue over here with it was the this system right here. What was the issue with this mess right here? I forget.
They did that to put a window motor in it. This is why they cut it all up. Instead of unbolting the regulator and taking the regulator out of the truck, they butchered the door just to get to the 3 bolts to hold the motor in.
That's beyond butcher. At least a butcher makes a steak look nice. My God. Okay. So that's gonna get fixed and
Welded, plated,
plated,
re-drilled. Fix this while we're at it.
Yep.
You see what's missing from the bottom of that, right?
Something's missing.
It's laying over there. See that chrome strip? That's your pivot. Remember the glass moved back and forth?
It sure
when you
did.
try to open it?
It sure did. I had to adjust it every time.
Yep. So we're gonna have some glass adhesive. We're gonna
Okay.
re-epoxy, seal, and glue that so water won't come in around it. It won't move when you open it.
Beautiful. This speaker will be bolted where it should be, or is it?
Yeah, it'll move back up and bolted.
Okay.
I had to get my hand in the bottom of the door.
Gotcha. Okay. So door seals got all that stuff. Okay, we're good with that. And that light this is the light, the
Cargo light.
Cargo light. Okay, that got fixed. And all right.
And the interior light works now.
Oh yeah, the interior light didn't work. That's the interior light.
New door jam switch.
New door jam switches. Door jam switches. And now to the the stuff that I'm really excited about. Let me go to the other side of the truck. Well, I'm so excited about all of it.
Just go around that way and stop by your seat and have a sit on it. See what you think.
Oh, my seat. Okay. Oh yeah, my seat got oh my goodness, this is it right here.
That's your seat.
Okay, this is the original upholstery, but look how nice it got refoamed.
Refoamed. Completely refoamed.
I can sit on it without busting my ass right here.
Let me grab the back of it, make sure it doesn't flip over backwards.
All right.
But the back is locked in place, so it should be sitting in just like it is in the truck.
All right, here's the driver's side. Oh, wow. Before I sat on this and I had springs poking me in the rear, and it oh my God. And the left side would roll me.
Collapsed. Yeah.
Collapsed. Oh, that's great, man. Who did this?
Danny's Upholstery in Charlottesville.
Wow.
Danny's Unique Upholstery.
Damn, that's nice. I don't feel a single spring.
He does all my upholstery work.
That's perfect. That is great.
Until he retires.
Gosh darn it.
Which he keeps threatening it's going to be in a couple of years. He's about 60 years old.
I've got to,
He's been doing upholstery work for 35 years.
Wow.
In the location he's in now, he's been there doing upholstery work for 35 years. So there's your blocks.
Okay, so we're going to rear lift to match the front lift and to bring the rear up a couple inches above the front. And we're doing that with blocks.
Doing that with blocks, and we're also replacing the springs that they cut out of it.
Oh yeah, there were springs cut out of the front and rear. Yep.
So we have new springs. New used springs.
We don't know why they were cut out. Somebody literally cut out springs from the front and rear before I owned the truck. We don't know why that's the case, but so we're replacing the springs that were cut out from the rear. Here they are, new used springs plus the blocks. And what do we have here?
This is transfer case bearing kit.
Transfer case bearings are being done because my truck
Bearings
is
and seals overhaul.
making a bearing noise that could be potentially catastrophic.
Yeah, more than likely it's one of these cage bearings.
One of those guys. Oh, needle bearings.
Yep, that's all they are.
Yep.
And they go bad. The plastic cage breaks. They start moving around, getting sideways in there. That's what happens to them.
An ounce of prevention.
And if you notice, there's a bunch of them.
There sure are.
This is the only regular main bearing in the entire transfer case.
There's only one main bearing.
Yes.
And the rest of them are roller needle.
Yep. Roller needles and
Thruster bearings.
Thrust bearings.
Yeah, those are thrusters.
Yep. And then these are your fingers for your shift forks.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Look at all that shit. Those little O-rings.
Mm-hmm.
You know where all that crap goes by heart?
Mm-hmm. Same as a 241.
What do we have here?
This is the bearings for the rear differential.
Oh yeah, so I'm getting a limited slip, which is
In that box.
in this box right here. I'm getting I don't want to see any addresses here, so let me hold the phone down. No address right there. It is no, there's not. It is a Spicer limited slip differential. It would have been an OEM product. It would have been what would have come with this truck had it been ordered as an option. And along with the installation of that would come a kit like this.
Carrier pinion bearing install kit.
Oh, that's the marking stuff for marking the yep,
For your gear pattern.
for the gear pattern. Yep.
So you got inner and outer pinion, new nut, new crush sleeve, and then your carrier side bearings.
Wow.
And
Yep.
pinion seal. And new ring gear bolts because you never reuse them.
Yep.
Never reuse them.
Mm-hmm.
Always throw them away.
Throw them away because of whatever strain.
Yep.
And you don't want those breaking. One of those starts flopping around in there, it's over.
Oh yeah.
Catastrophic. What is the orange stuff here?
That's a very small pouch of assembly oil.
That's yeah.
That's not what I use anyway.
Okay.
Oh no, wait. That's Loctite. Red bolt locker.
Okay.
Loctite for your carrier.
Oh,
bearing.
okay. Okay.
So it actually came with Loctite, no assembly oil.
Okay.
Say some of them come with a real small tube of like a millennium disulfide assembly, kind of like an engine assembly oil.
Yeah.
To put in the bearings.
Okay. But you use your own anyway.
Yeah.
You got your own preference. So let's see. Transfer case, rear differential, and what am I forgetting? Just for posterity, what else have we done with this truck?
The list is on the dash.
Oh.
I cannot remember it all.
Okay.
We got valve covers. We got valve covers ready to be put on.
Antenna, we're fixing the antenna. That's a minor thing. Gosh, you've already done stuff to this truck.
Welding the exhaust.
Oh, welding the exhaust tips.
Keep them from flippy flopping around. Both of them.
How about the tailgate, Adam?
Artist found. He won't sell it yet.
Okay, we're going to get a tailgate because
Trim piece.
this trim piece right here, which is all, and this is silicone caulk holding it on.
So it's glued on.
It's silicone,
So
like aquarium caulk.
I may get the piece and let you hang on to it until you're ready to take it to the body shop.
Yep.
And let the body shop deal with that.
All right. And let's see, listen. Am I forgetting anything? Anything major? There's my dash right there.
Dash and door panel.
And door panel. All right. Oh, I wanted to ask you about the grill. The front grill, because this is something that you noticed when you first saw this truck and asked about.
The grill is 81 to 85 specific.
81 to 85 specific. And the bumper and the grill, you said, if I ever wreck this truck,
Are no longer available.
I might as well forget about putting this grill, finding this grill and bumper.
You're going to line up with an 86 to 89 front end in it.
It ain't gonna happen. So drive like granite.
And you're not going to get bumperettes either.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Not gonna get these guys right here.
The whole thing.
Oh, these are separate.
Yeah.
They're not welded?
No.
No shirt.
I'm sure.
Huh. I see it now. I would have thought they were welded. They're bolted on from the
They're
back.
bolted on the back side. And they were optional.
I love the bumperette look. I love that look. It's classic.
Yep, they were optional. They did not come. You had to request those.
It's classic. That's one of the things that struck me about the look of the truck. So, wow. Okay. What else am I thinking of? I'm gonna finish up that list. Just
Extra set of driver's keys.
oh yeah, well that's
Done with factory Mopar keys.
oh you got that.
They're the actual new old stock Pentastar. That's your spare set of keys.
Sweet.
Notice how much bigger the head is.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Glue the hubcaps. Make the brake lines look pretty.
Oh yeah, these hubcaps right here. They were.
The right rear one is your prime example.
Yep. They would just you could push them in, and then as you drove on the highway, the centripetal force would kind of force them out, but they'd always. Okay.
Let's see. Exhaust extension, differential, AC, we already got climate control done. Cargo light recovered. Rear bolts are done. That's everything.
And what did I have it up here the first time for?
Gas tank.
Oh, the big one. Oh, the gas tank. Oh my God.
Tank.
Is that gas tank still sitting out
Gas
there?
tank still out there.
Oh, you got to see this. This is the fuel tank. This is the gas tank that came out of my truck. The very first time I had my truck worked on here, I would fill up the tank, and it would, as I sort of topped it off, I would have a giant mess at the gas station. The people at Costco threw a fucking fit, and here's the culprit, right there, and that's where that's one of the straps that hold the tank on would rub against that area and cause that issue right there, and so we put a new tank on. That's one of the first things I had done to the truck, and it works like a champ. And oh, the fuel, thanks for reminding me, the fuel sending unit.
See this?
Oh, that's got a plastic rubber plug.
It's obviously slobbering oil out around it. It's probably done shrunk up.
Damn sure is slobbering oil.
So
We have a, that's not even a opening.
right.
Why would that have been there? An option?
It came along in the early 80s. These are old style reproductions.
I wonder what that was used for. I mean, something was there at one point.
Unless it was possibly a second breather.
Mm-hmm.
Where your breather element is over here.
Yep.
But they're not baffled underneath of it. You see how your PCV valves got this
Oh yeah, keep all the
to keep the oil from directly
splatter.
coming
Yeah.
up? There's no baffle underneath of that on that valve in these valve covers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's the rocker arm shooting oil right up on that rubber plug. There's no baffle. The baffle doesn't come this far,
Damn.
even on that valve cover. So that's why they slobber oil out like that so bad, because the oil is just constantly sitting right on the backside of them.
High velocity oil.
Yep, pressurized.
Yep. Now, this is a breather.
Mm-hmm.
What is this?
Oil fill.
So, I just wonder why the breather just. Does this have a like a little mesh?
Yes.
Okay.
Oil separator filter in it. It's supposed to have, if it had a factory air cleaner on it, it would have a hose going from the nipple up to the bottom of the air cleaner.
That's what I thought. Okay.
So that when because your PCV valve is idle to off idle.
Yeah.
highway cruising, when you're really sucking air down the carburetor, it creates a vacuum inside the air filter, and that's when it's drawing from this one.
Gotcha.
And putting crankcase, and actually putting a vacuum on the crankcase.
Yeah.
To help keep main seals and things from leaking.
But with the aftermarket carburetor, it doesn't care that it sits right there.
Well, it's the aftermarket air cleaner.
Yeah.
If they'd have actually chased down an actual OE 4-barrel air cleaner, it would have had that pipe hook up.
Yeah. But this doesn't affect performance or anything, leaving it that way.
No, you can get water in the engine that way.
It seems like you could, yeah.
Very easily.
Yeah, I mean, you hit a big puddle.
Yep.
Go through.
Big splash under the hood.
Yeah.
It's going straight down that pipe.
Yeah, right down the pipe.
Straight in the head.
I was wondering, as I looked at that, I'm sitting there thinking, well, it seems like it ought to be,
Sits around too long, you wind up with bugs crawling down in it.
Yeah. Well, now you got me freaked out. What am I going to do about it? How about
Let me see. Back in the day. Here we go. Back in the day when I actually used to fool around with these things.
back in the day?
You used to be able to. Yeah. See where it's got the punch out?
Hot shit.
You used to be able to buy a hose fitting.
Yeah.
That went right there, so that you could hook that up. They just didn't bother.
That's punch out. Looks like the same diameter.
And it'd be a little hose bib fitting that would just bolt in,
So that would
you could hook it up.
prevent bugs because it's inside the filter.
Because then it's inside the filter, just like it was from the factory. So am I putting that on my to-do list?
Do you mind?
I'll see if I can track them down.
I'm already. I don't even want to ask you how much I'm deep on this, but
We're in your budget.
okay. I mean, my budget is including the down payment I already gave you, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, that's going on parts.
Yeah. All right.
you got a little bit left of that second one still. The rest of it's been gone on parts.
Oh my God. Oh Jesus.
That door seals alone laying in there was like $300.
Oh
For doors and glass.
God. I'm gonna be. I'm literally. This is going to be my truck. I'm disowning the what do you call it? The Italian Ram up there.
Italian Ram.
Yeah.
Sitting in the garage, plugged into a battery tender.
Yeah, if that. Okay. All right. I think we covered everything. I'm gonna probably hit the road because I had a guy call me today from a Craigslist ad I posted, and at the last minute, it's like I want to meet you today, and I'm trying to sell something, so I meet him over at the cottage.
What you getting at?
Turntable.
Record player.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got 2 of them.
Hit stop this.